ヒゲの見習い小僧。大人げないが、私はお前が嫌いでね。
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I have for you Silver's Rayleigh from OP12. I decided to do a video with Silver's Rayleigh because he started to become my main deck. As you guys know, I play here in the East, and I've noticed that a lot of the OP13 leaders that a majority of people are playing are actually having a hard time with aggro matchups. Now that could go for Zoro, Beloberi, but I think Rayleigh is the best aggro type of deck that we have currently. And on top of that, it's like really fun to play, right? So that's why I decided to make this video. Let's get right into the deck list first, and afterwards I'll explain to you my thought process and my game plan when it comes to using this deck against OP13 leaders, and what cards I may take out and what I may add in response to taking out certain cards. So we'll get to that after the video, okay? Let's get right into what the leader does. Silver's Rayleigh is a 5 life, 5,000 power leader. One of his rules is you cannot have cards with a cost of 5 or greater in your deck. That's perfectly fine because some of the support that came in OP12 with this deck really is what makes it, right? So the activate main of this leader is once per turn, you reveal 2 event cards from your hand, and you give up to 1 of your characters with a base power of 4,000 or less, plus 2,000 power during this turn. So really good ability. You can see why Rayleigh is such a good aggro just with the ability alone, right? But like I said, what makes this leader is the support that it gets. Now, first up, we have our first searcher of the deck. In total, we have 5 searchers in this deck, 5 cards that search bodies for us, and we'll get to why later. First off is Nami. It's the one cost 2,000 power, 1k counter. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and reveal a Straw Hat card. Straw Hat crew type card, sorry. And then place the remaining at the bottom in any order. Pretty simple. Next up, we have our 1 cost 3,000 power Buggy. Its ability is this character cannot be KO'd when battling slash attribute characters and leaders. Remember that? And on play is you look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck and you reveal 1 red event. Doesn't matter the cost, you just reveal 1 event card and then add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck. Next up, our third searcher of the deck came with the package in OP12 is Shakuyaku. The one cost 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck and you reveal a Monkey D. Luffy or a red event card. Then you add it to your hand and you place the rest on the bottom. Next up, we'll run through these just fairly quick, just because these cards, I mean, their abilities are easy to learn and very simple. So next up, we have our only 2k counter. That's a character card in this deck. It's the Sanji. It's a 2 cost 3,000 power 2k counter. Activate main once per turn. You can add, you may add 1 card from your life area to your hand, and if you did, the character gains plus 2,000 power during the turn, and you give it 2 Rested Dawn cards, so it becomes a 7,000 power body if you take your life. Next up, we have our 4th searcher. It's the 2 cost 3,000 power Boa Hancock. No counter, came in OP12. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal an event card or a Monkey D. Luffy, and put it into your hand. Place the rest on the bottom. Its activate main is you trash the character and you give 2 Rested Dawn cards to one of your leaders or character cards. Really good support. Next up is our first rush option. It's the 3 cost 5,000 power Zoro. Basically just rush, right? That's all it is. It's just a body to play out to add more pressure. Next up is our 3 cost 3,000 power 1k counter Sanji. Your turn. This character gains 3,000 power, so it's a 6,000 power card during your turn. And, you attack and it's for 6,000 power. Its on KO ability is you draw a card. Next up, we have our other rush option, which I think is the better aside from Zoro. And I fear that I might get rid of the 2 Zoros to add 2 more Kid and Killers. The problem is, it's only searchable with the observation hockey event that Rayleigh runs, because you're able to, if we go over to it real quick, you can get a cost one character that costs 3 or greater from your search. And so the reason why the Zoro's there is because you can search it with the Nami and that searcher, right? So it has a total of 7 searchers instead of Kid and Killer, sorry, just having 3. You can see why I just ran 2-2. This is a pretty standard deck list. If you guys have seen Rayleigh deck lists, this is pretty standard for most of them. And so even the standard version still sticks in OP13. It's so good. We'll get to that after. Next card is our 4-cost, 4,000 power Monkey D. Luffy. Its counter is 1000. Ability, if you have 2 or more attached Dawn cards on the field, this character gains plus 2000 power. Very, very good with that alone, but still you get the on play, which is you may reveal 2 event cards from your hand, and you're able to play up to 1 red character with a power of 3000 or less from your hand. Then you give 1 rested Dawn to your leader or one of your characters. This is the main staple of this entire deck, because as you can see, like 4 out of our 5 searchers can find this card, and so it's your goal to be able to play this on your perfect curve, which is the even curve, right? 4 Dawn turn, and play this out and basically spam bodies. Okay, that's the whole goal. Next up, we're gonna go on to our events. The events are very, very strong in this deck too. I'm glad Bandai did great things with events, especially in this Rayleigh deck. So our first event is To Never Doubt That Is Power. It's a 0 cost. Most of these are 0 costs, right? The Rayleigh former Roger Pirates events are 0 cost. But anyways, 0 cost main, give up to 2 active Dawn cards to your Silver's Rayleigh, and your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during this turn. Let me do a quick search real quick. Sorry about that. I want to see if the Rayleigh is runnable in this, the blocker Rayleigh. So it's a 5 cost, 6000 power. Yeah, you can't even run that Rayleigh. So to get back to what I was thinking of in my head while doing this, this can go onto a character that's Silver's Rayleigh, right? But we currently don't have a 4 cost or lower Rayleigh. And so this leads me to believe that Bandai is going to come out with a 4 cost or lower Rayleigh, and I hope it's really good. That way this deck gets more support, because it's such a fun deck. I'd hate to see it just disappear. But anyways, like I was saying, your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks during this turn. Its counter is just plus 2000 power to a character or Silver's Rayleigh. So it's a 0 cost 2000 power counter. Next up, we have our last searcher in the form of an event. It's Observation Hockey. Main, you may attach 1 active Dawn card to one of your Silver's Rayleigh, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal 1 event card or 1 cost 3 or greater character card, and then add it to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Very self-explanatory searcher. Next up is our Conqueror's Hockey. It's 0 cost, counter, give up to one of your characters or your Silver's Rayleigh plus 2000 power during this battle. Then if you rest 1 of your Dawn cards, you can give your opponent's characters and their leader minus 1000 power during the turn. So they get minus 1000 power during their entire attack phase if you use this with a Dawn, right? Very, very good. That's why we run 4 of these. We only ran 3 of these To Never Doubts, but I'll get to why I'm thinking of ramping this up to 4. Anyways, on to our last former Roger Pirates event, as you can see, because the other 2 events that we run are Straw Hat Crew. This one is Armament Hockey. It's a 0 cost main, attach 1 active Dawn card to your Silver's Rayleigh, and then you give up to one of your leader or characters plus 1000 power during the turn. Its counter is just plus 2000 power to one of your characters or your Silver's Rayleigh. I love all these events. I love how they made these. Anyways, on to our last 2 events. The first one being Gum Gum King Kong Gatling. It's a 2 cost main. Give up to one of your leader or characters plus 3000 power. Then if your opponent has a character with 7000 power or more, you can give one of your leaders or characters plus 1000 power for the turn. And its trigger is KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 5000 power or less. Now you can see this is really good. If your opponent has a 7000 power or more character, not only can you give plus 3000 power to your leader or character, you give another plus 1000 to someone else. It doesn't have to be the same character or leader. Anyways, on to our last event and last cards of the deck. it's Gum Gum Mulligan. It's also a Straw Hat crew. It's a 4-cost main. Give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 5,000 power during this turn. And then, if you have a character with 6,000 power or more, you KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 2,000 or less. Now that we've gone over most of these cards, let me talk a bit about why I think this is like... I don't know what I rank this, in all honesty, in my tier list, I forget. But as of right now, I honestly see this as being the top of A tier, or even mid A. Not S tier completely, right? Like Ace is, or like, I guess I'm ranking stuff too high. Let's just say Ace is like S, right? And then Emu, Zoro, and Roger, not in any particular order, is A tier. Then I would say it's top of B, lower A. If we're speaking in terms of that, in my brain, I guess, I would count Emu, Ace, Zoro, and Roger in S tier, just because those are the main meta decks, right? But if we're talking like who's actually really good, S tier, Ace, A tier, Emu, Roger, Zoro, not in any order, of course, like I said. And then Silver's Rayleigh bottom A, or top A. It's because of the fact that most OP13 leaders don't have a good setup till they're in their 8 to 10 Dawn turn, or even 7 to 10 Dawn turn, and you can do so much damage prior to that turn of theirs. You can do so much damage. They have to counter out so much unless they want to be at 0 health by the time they even get there, and then you can just use your unblockable Rayleigh, right? Like, the main game plan here is to take second from everybody. It still goes good first into some matchups. Like against Ace, it actually does pretty decent when you go first, because you're able to attack twice, especially if you get the buggy out on your first turn. But that's getting into specifics. Let me just say it's better to take second all the time. And you want to get to that Luffy, that 4-cost 4,000 power Luffy, to play out either your Boas, your Sanji. Your Boa is your main target, right? Boa, Sanji, and then this 2k Sanji. Now, to talk a little bit about, I should say, aside from these targets, then you just start attacking at them, right? Constantly. Keep barraging them with attacks, basically chipping at their life. It doesn't have to be more than, if you're going against Ace, right, 6,000 power, you don't have to go more than that, as long as you just keep chipping at them with all your bodies, and you keep developing more bodies just to be able to chip at them. You'll slowly get rid of so many cards in their hand, and if they don't have the counter, then they eventually get to 0 life by the time anyone hits 10 Dawn. So that's why I love this deck. Now, to talk about cards you could take out or cards you could replace, I would honestly say it would be nice to get rid of this Gum Gum Mulligan, just because of the fact that the only time you're basically able to use this is on a blocker, right, or a chump blocker. But even then, by the time they're able to bring out any blockers, like say I go against Ace, because that's recency bias on my end. Say I just went against an Ace at my LGS. Say you're using this Gum Gum Mulligan and they play out the Marco blocker, they're able to just draw 2 cards. They would have blocked with it anyways because it allows them to draw 2 cards, right? And they need the counter in their hand, so it's better to get rid of this. Like maybe get rid of 1, I would say, at least 1, leave it at 1, because it's still searchable with all your event searchers, right? Just get rid of 1 and then add 1 more to Never Doubt. I think having 4 of these, because that gives you 1 extra 2k counter and 1 extra, your opponent cannot activate blocker card. So I think dumping 1 of these and adding 1 of these is really good. I also think that getting rid of this 2k Sanji in exchange for, let me type this in, you guys are seeing this. In exchange for this Sanji from SD21 is also really good. If you get rid of these and just add these 4, that allows you to make one of your Straw Hat crew characters, which is like these guys, right? Your Luffy, your Sanji, your Zoro. It allows you to make them like go through blockers. It allows you to let them go through blockers essentially, and it's a 2k counter. So it's a good substitute, and you can also play, when you play it out, you can attack with it because you give plus 2,000. But anyways, I think this is better than the 2-cost Sanji, which we did have running. But the thing is, the matches that I have for you, I am running this 2-cost Sanji, so we'll leave that in there. But what I'm saying is this card is the best replacement for that 2k Sanji right now, I think, just because you don't want to be taking your life. I find it such a hassle to be taking life just to have a 7,000 power body on board. But it, you know, both cards are good. I think you can still do well with both. I would just prefer having this SD21 Sanji in there instead of this OP01 Sanji. Okay. Now, if you did have that OP SD21 Sanji, I would suggest getting rid of the killer and then adding Zoro instead, because that way it can make it unblockable, right? But Kid and Killer is just too good. It becomes a 7,000 power when they're at 2 life, right? So I don't know, but I think there's it really depends on your LGS, and it depends on who you think you're going to be going against at your LGS. That's how you should develop your deck, this Rayleigh deck. I mean, if you're planning on playing this, if you're planning on using it, develop it in a way where to know what you're expecting in your local games shop where you play at, right? If you're playing physically. But that's basically all I have for this deck list. I think it's really good, and you just have to play it smart, because there are some games I've had where if I only had just 1,000 counter more or 2,000 counter more, it could have been good and I would have won the next round. And I have cases like that a lot, but that's why you have to be very careful in what you pick in your searches and what you have in hand. So that's all the advice that I have for you guys. Let's get straight into the matches. Okay everyone, we're in our first match. As you will see, most of our matches are fairly quick, which is very fitting for the leader and what the deck does. So let's get right into the first match against Red Blue Ace. We're on 2x speed right now. We decide to keep this. Notice we don't have any events, but that's perfectly fine because the buggy allows us to search for our events that we need. And we have 2 Hancocks in hands, which is really good, especially going against Ace. That gives us 2 rested for free. I think that's great. And all 3 cards, all 3 searchers, the Nami and the 2 Hancocks, allow us to search for our 4-cost Luffy, right? So our opponent here chose to go first. We didn't take second from them. They chose to go first, okay? I don't know why, because Ace does prefer to go second, but that's okay. They develop their Izo and draw an Edward Newgate from it. So we go ahead and use the buggy to do a search. We get the activate blocker, right, event. To never doubt that is power. So they play out another Izo. They draw the I am Whitebeard event card. They attach the rest of their Dawn to their leader and they swing at us for 8. We take this. No need to counter out of this, right? We're 5 health. We're very healthy. We get a Shaku. Perfect. We get another event. We're at our 4 Dawn. I think we go ahead and try to search for a monkey here soon. But of course, sequencing is always important, right? I always say that, especially in my past videos. Sequencing is very important in this game. So we used our leader ability first to show them the searcher events that we have in hand that we're going to plan on using, right? One of the searcher event and 1 counter event. We didn't show them that we had the to never doubt, but they did know we got it from a search, right? Last turn. Anyways, we give the plus 2,000 of our leader ability to Boa, play another Boa. We get the Luffy from that search. We deploy a buggy here to search for an event. We get the to never doubt is power. To never doubt that is power or whatever again. We attach the rest of our Dawn to our leader, swing for 6, and then I think we crack this Boa, the second Boa we just played, give it to our other Boa, and then swing for 7. And that's fine. Honestly, I would have preferred to keep it, but I just wanted to apply pressure early on. And as you can see, after using the Izo, he's down to 5 cards. He used a 2k for that. So we are putting on the pressure. So we crack the 2 cost, or do we pass this? We should crack the 2 cost. Yeah, exactly. Give it to him. Swing for 7. He has to counter out of this. Less cards in hand. Yep. So 4 cards. We pass it back over. He plays out the Yamato. Attaches a Dawn. Swings at the Boa. We let it go. Can't do anything about that. What we should have done here is use our activate main, our leader ability first to give plus 2,000 to our buggy. And then use that event to get rid of it, right? Because we want to show them the events that they know we have. We don't want to show them events they don't know we have, right? That's how we keep secrecy in here, right? So we play the Monkey D. Luffy, reveal the same events, play out the Sanji, attach one of the rested from the Monkey D. Luffy ability, give leader ability to Buggy, so he becomes a 6,000, swing for 6, perfectly fine, attach the rest of our Dawn, swing for 7, they counter out. Here, I think they tried to counter out, but they accidentally ended up taking. I don't know what their goal here was. Maybe they thought they could use leader ability or something like that, but they already used it, right? Anyways, they take twice, so they're down to 1 life. We pass it back over. Sorry, that was very fast, as you can see. Maybe 1.5 speed is enough. Let's try to do that, because we gotta catch what's going on. And this is a, you know, aggro deck. Anyways, he has the Yamato on board and the Ace. Notice he's at 1 life already, and he's only on 7 Dawn. He won't be able to play his tax gates or his blocker gates till next turn. Really, really good for us, because we can apply the pressure with our Luffy and our Sanji. He plays out the blocker Marco, alright, the 4 cost 6,000 power. He gets a Jozu from his search. I think that's the 2k counter Jozu. Swings the Yamato into our buggy. We let it go. Swings 7 at us. We take. Another event in our hand, perfect. Maybe we use the event, yeah. When we use those events, it gives 1 active Dawn to our Rayleigh and plus 1,000 to another character. So notice we give it to the Sanji. What I think we should have done first is use leader ability and then use them. I don't know why we didn't do that here. We do it again. Reveal 2 events. See, now they know we have the we have the to never doubt card, right? And maybe that's like a intimidation tactic or like a scare tactic, right? Who knows? But we give the plus 2,000 to our Sanji and it gets plus 7,000. So it's a 10,000 body that we swing into them for 6,000. They go ahead and block and draw 2 cards, 3 cards technically from that. Because of the leader ability, right? They can draw a card. So we do a search with the Shaku Yaku. We take an event because we can't take anything else there. We deploy the Sanji just so we can have more bodies on board to attack with next turn, because we know they're going to attack into our bodies that are currently rested or gonna be rested. So we want to have bodies for next turn to attack with. We want to constantly put on pressure. It would have been great to do a search and then look for a Luffy also, I guess, but we didn't find it with a Shaku, so that's fine. Attach 2 Dawn to Luffy, swing for 8. They use their leader ability, minus 2,000. That's fine, counter with a 2k. Alright, so good on us. We attach the rest of our Dawn, swing for 8 again. They counter out with a Radical Beam. Perfect. Alright, we pass it back over to them. We have a good hand. I mean, we have a decent hand, not a good hand. It would have been nice to have a Luffy, but we also have a decent board, and they're going to attack into our board here anyways. So they play out the blocker beard, of course. I'm surprised they didn't play that Yamato Rush instead of the regular. Oh, maybe they just got it. So they give 2, 2, swing for 8 into our Luffy. Maybe we counter out. Yeah, we counter out for sure. Swing 4 into the Sanji. We take. Draw a card. We get the Zoro. Perfect. They swing 6 again. We counter out. Yep. We save those bodies. Now, they only have 1 blocker, 1 life, 8 cards. Alright. So, I think it's fair enough to say we're going to attack with them. We're going to attack at them with all our might. We play out the Zoro. Use the Sanji's ability, which you take the top of your life and give 2 rested Dawn, right? So now he's a 7,000 power. We do the leader ability, and I think we give it to Luffy, right? Not Sanji. Luffy for sure. So, because we want big bodies, multiple big bodies. So, we do the not advanced, armament hockey to give 1 Dawn to our leader, and then 1,000 to Luffy also, which makes him a 9,000 power. And we test the waters. We swing with 9,000 because either he's going to give us a leader ability and a 2k, 2 2ks, or block with it, and that'll tell us everything we need to know, right? So we swing for 9. They take, draw an extra card from that, of course. So they have 2 extra cards in their hand. They're up to 10. They still have a blocker. That's perfectly fine. We go ahead, swing into them. Who do we attach it to? Just to make it 9, yeah? No, 8. 8 to Sanji. So 8 to 6. So he either gives us a 2k and a 1k or uses his ability. He uses his ability and gives us a 2k. He gives us a 2k, not a 1k, so good on us. We swing 2 into the Garp just so he doesn't have another attack next turn, right? And then I think we swing into the Yamato here, right? Yeah, we do. He blocks, he counters out of this, I think. Swinging into the Yamato so he has less of a, presence on board. And if he blocks out of this, yep, no, he doesn't block out of it, which tells me he doesn't have a counter. We do attach 2 active Dawn, right? For sure we use this because we have a second one. So 2 active, it's unblockable, 8 to 6. He ends up using his leader ability, I think, or 2k counter, and that's game. So he bricked up, and that's usually what Ace does. He bricks up if he doesn't search for his 2ks. Anyways, GG to our opponent. You can see how that unblockable 0 cost event is so good. We just basically constantly applied pressure to this ace. He was only able to play out one new gate. He should have played like Attack Spirit if he could find it or something, so we couldn't constantly attack. But even then, by the time he's already able to play any 10 cost gates, we've already chipped away at his life so much. He only has 3 life, and we have tons of bodies we can pump out, right? So GG to our opponent. Very quick match. Let's go into the next one. Hey guys, welcome to the second match. It's against Black Emu. This, as you can see, this game kind of already started a bit, not really. I can't go back more. I guess this is when it started recording, but he chose to go first. No, actually, I think we took second from him. We chose to go second just because Emu loves to go second. They played their Saint Shalaria out, did a search, got their Marcus Mars because they know they're going to need their blocker Mars to get rid of our bodies quick and have a blocker on board to deal with us, right? He searched, got his Mars, did his whole spiel. Trash. Now he passed it back to us. We're on our 2-Dawn turn, so our first turn. Think we go ahead and play out the buggy. I think we should have done the Nami to search for a Luffy first. Because if we played out the Nami first, we could have gotten that Sanji or that Zoro. Granted, the Luffy isn't here, but we still could have gotten that Sanji or Zoro, which are still good bodies to have on board. Instead, we're stuck with an observation hockey search. And then we go ahead and play the Nami, and we don't, we get Sanji. So you get the Sanji, pass it back over to them. We have 2 potential bodies to attack with on board for next turn. It's their 3-Dawn turn. I wonder if this is on 2 times. Sorry, let me double check. They do their search. They take a Nuzujuro, which is the rush, right? Attach 2 to their leader, swing for 7. We take, perfectly fine. Pass it back to us. We reveal our 2 events, right? The 2 searcher events, just because we don't want them to know what other events we have in hand. So we reveal both of those before we use it. Give our plus 2,000 to the buggy. He's 5,000. Do a search. We get the Luffy. Do another search. Or we attack first. Okay. I wonder if we play out the Sanji or just do another search. We'll see. Swing for 5. They counter out. Swing for 6. They end up taking. Okay, cool. Play out the Sanji. I guess we decided we just wanted another body on board, which is perfectly fine. That way we can show them the observation hockey next turn and then another one instead of, showing them 2 different ones again next turn. So we pass it back to them. 3 bodies developed on board. They attached 1 Dawn to their leader. Swing for 6 at our buggy. I don't think... Do we counter out of this? We do end up countering out just because, they're not able to play out a Mars to KO it. So this allows us to have another easy 5,000 body to swing at them next turn, which is really good. And it only took 2 of our 2k Sanjis, which is also really good because we don't want to be taking our life here, honestly. I think it's risky, especially against this Emu, especially when he gets to his late game, if he does. Go ahead, counter 2k. They play out the War Curie, which gives them blocker and on KO draw 1 card, right? So they pass it back to us. We're on our 6th-Dawn turn. Do a search. We don't get anything. We whiff on our Nami search. We should have done the Shakuyaku search first. That gives us an event or, a Monkey D. Luffy, but that's fine. We play out the Monkey D. Luffy to play out the Shakuyaku. Give 1 rested to Buggy. Cool. We get the Monkey D. Luffy finally, but no bodies to play the Monkey D. Luffy with, right? So use our leader ability, give it to the buggy, swing for 6, and then another 6 with leader, right? Really good chip damage, as you can see. I think he counters out of this. No, he takes it, so he's at 2 life. Very risky. 6 again, he should counter out of this. Yep, perfect 2 cards. And then we do the search, give 1 active Dawn to our leader, do a search. We can get the Sanji here, perfect. Now we have a body to play out with our Luffy. So we swing for 6. I think he counters out of this one too. He shouldn't take. If he does, that's crazy. Yep, counter out again. He's left with 3 cards. See how much resources we just steal from them? It's just so aggressive. Anyways, you played that out. They play out a Sharia. They do a search. They get the Never Existed card, but they ended up trashing it, which is weird. The Never Existed gives you plus 4,000 power, right? So too bad they didn't keep that. They swing 5 into our Sanji. We take that for a draw. We get a 2k counter / 2 cost Sanji, right? That becomes 7,000 power. But we're not planning on using that. Swing 5 with their blocker. We take that. No need to counter out of that. Although there is a good argument that we could have. But that wouldn't have left us with anything good. So yeah, it's good that we didn't counter. Then they play the Sabo blocker, which is a 3 cost now that they have more than 15 in their hand, right? 3 cost Sabo blocker, back to us. We play out the Luffy, bring out the Sanji. Although we should leader ability, right? But that's fine. Bring out the Sanji. The one thing I hate about using Rayleigh on the sim is you have to wait for your opponent to check it. Like, whatever. Anyways, we play out the 3 cost Sanji, give a 1 Dawn to our Shaku, Give the plus 2000 to our Shaku also. That makes it 5000 power. Swing for 5. Or maybe we attach one more Dawn, right? Yeah, swing for 6. Either give us a 2k or block. They take. Okay, so good. I think we give, yeah, 1 active and then 1 to our Monkey D. Luffy, which is fine. I think we should have kept it, to be honest, and just did chip damage. We could have done 5, 6, and then another attack with our Nami. That way, you know, that was lots of chip damage, but that's okay. All in hindsight. We swing for 7. I think they end up countering out of this with a never existed or something. No, they do take. So see, they're down to 0 life. They're only on their 7 Dawn turn, 9 Dawn next turn. I don't think they're even going to be able to play out a 10 cost Elder, right? So really, really good. You can see how good aggro is. Go ahead, swing for 6 again. They go ahead and counter. Okay, we play out the Sanji maybe? Yeah, we do play out the Sanji, so another body for next turn. Very, very good. And we have 4 life, so I guess that's why we're not afraid to play the Sanji out to take a life, right? So they play out a Charlos. Tells me that they should have kept on to their Mars because they searched for their Mars a while ago. I don't know why they didn't keep that so that they could KO our bodies, and they threw that away in the trash and haven't gotten one since in any of their searches. Or, you know, I can't tell what they got from their draws, and I'm assuming they didn't get any from their draws, otherwise they would be playing it out. They play out a Charlos, trash the top. They get a Jupiter out of the top trash. I mean, he's a 6000 power leader, so, but it's only during his turn, meaning he has like 20 cards in trash, 20 or more cards in trash. Plays out the Nuzjuro as a rush, right? I think he swings into the Luffy here, gives minus 2000, right? 5 to 4. No need to counter out, just take it. Cool. 3 blockers, 3 cards in hand. I think he swings at us. No, I think he swings at the Shaku. Yeah, get rid of the Shaku. What else can you do? Another blocker? At this point, you probably should, but then we can just search for the unblockable card. They pass it back to us, so they have 4 Dawn. Tells me, you know, they do have counter in their hand, so we gotta play this safe. I think we just swing with all the bodies on board and use the Dawn to attach to our characters, but that's fine. We do end up playing the Sanji here out, I think, right? No. We just use the ability on its own and don't attach 2 rested, so I think that's okay, because we want to swing with all our Dawn attached to someone. So we leader ability. Luckily, we get the event from our life, right? So we did that. We got the event. Lucky for us. We give plus 2000 to Sanji. We should have given it to the other Sanji, to be honest. Swing for 9. See what they do. They block. Attach Dawn again. Swing for 9. We're doing math here. Looks like, yeah, we're trying to do the math. 8. They counter out with the never existed for sure. Perfect. Swing for 8. Block. Draw a card. Okay. We'll play out the... I think we should swing it for 9, but that's okay. Because we can get rid of a body on their board. We just end up playing the 4 cost Luffy, right? So in case they get rid of all our bodies on board, we have something to attack with still next turn. But it does look like they do reach their 10 Dawn and play out an Elders, but we swing for 6 before that with the rested Dawn from the Monkey D. Luffy character card. They end up blocking out of this. They can't save it, so they only have the Nuzjuro in hand. 10 Dawn, 6000 leader. We have 3 life still. So we're in a great position. I think this is just game next turn, right? No way they can dodge 4 or 5 attacks. So they do swing into the Sanji. Resolve, we're not going to counter out of that. Take, we get another event. Cool. 6 into our Sanji. Take. Let it go. They play out the... I think they play out the 10 cost, right? So they end up... Actually, they don't have the 10 cost, it looks like. So they end up using the event where if you rest 5 Dawn, extra Dawn, you can KO a body that's 6 cost or less, right? Or original base cost 6 or less. And so they get rid of our Monkey D. Luffy with that. They do have the Elder. Perfect. They play it out. I think they do search first and then they trash a card to get rid of our Luffy. Yep, correct. Do a search. Swing into us for 7. Perfectly fine. We take. We do a buggy search. Now notice what we did here. I think if we didn't get the To Never Doubt here, we wouldn't have won. Just because it would have been GG next turn. Unless we say... Actually, I'm wrong. Unless we saved like 2 Dawn for our Conqueror's Hockey, then it would have gotten rid of their power and we could have just countered out easy. Maybe. But, you know, we use the buggy, do a search, get the To Never Doubt event, attach it to our leader, attach all our Dons, swing for 14. They can't block at all. That's GG. Okay? So that's basically the second game against Emu. You can see how much damage you deal before he even gets to his 10 cost Elder turn. It's so quick, and it's the same for Ace, right? It's just so quick. It's hard for them to deal with unless they actually put cards in their deck that allow them to counter aggro decks, right? Like Rayleigh. And Emu does have, I can show that right here. I think it's a 2 or 3 cost that gets rid of 2 bodies, 2 low bodies that was probably made just to deal with like Rayleigh or Zoro, right? Or even a Chopper. That card was made to go against these aggro decks, and most Emus aren't even running it because I guess they just don't find aggro decks anymore as much, or they just don't find it threatening, right? But you can see how threatening Rayleigh is. He gets you down real quick, real easy. You lose cards, you lose resources very easy, and you know, it just goes downhill from there. That's the second match I have for you guys. Let's go into the last one. Like I said, it's a fairly short video, so let's go to the next one. Okay everyone, we are on our final video. It's against Roger. Now, like I said, I only wanted to show matches that are against OP13 leaders. We all know how Rayleigh does in OP12 meta in the West, right? He's pretty good, so you can't complain there. I think he has a hard time against Zoro right now, right? Because Zoro can just rest 4 costs real easy, and if they chain those Koinas, it's kind of like GG for you. But I think it's, you know, it's a close matchup. Anyways, let's watch this Roger gameplay. I think we of course take second. Don't tell me we take first from them. So we do end up taking first from them. Surprise. I think it's because we know Roger has an advantage if he goes first, and we don't mind going first against them as long as we get a buggy. But just to say, it wouldn't have mattered, right? I think going second is also really good, just because you're able to play that 4 cost Luffy out on the even curve. So let's let it play out. We go ahead and keep this deck, play Shaku, get the Monkey D Luffy, perfect. We can play the Luffy and a Hancock later. Cool, I think we do a reveal here, give it to Shaku, cool. And then do a search with what we just unveiled, right? Observation Hockey, attach 1. Take the Zoro, swing for 6, and then attach the rest of our Dons, swing for 6 again, they counter. So they're at 4 life. They swing into our Shaku, perfectly fine, we let it go. They ramp up here with the bullet, pass it back to us. We play the Luffy out. Yeah, we play the Luffy out. Reveal 2 events, get the Boa out, do a search. We get the event, of course, that's the only thing we can get because there's no other Luffy there. The rested Don from our Luffy ability goes to our leader. Attach the rest of our Don to our leader, swing for 7. They take, they're at 3 life, perfectly fine. They're getting low there, and they're not even close to 10 Don yet, right? So they play out a Crocus. Weird tech, I've not seen this used, but it's there. And it's when attacking, return one of your opponent's characters with the base power of 3,000 or less to the owner's hand, right? So you can see, you know, good thing it's not on play, but that's why they played it out. Swing 6 at us, take, get another event, swing 6 at us, we counter out. We have too many events at this point, right? And we just got another event, not enough character cards. Cool. Reveal 2 events, give it to Boa, and I think we use the armament hockey here. I wouldn't use the King Kong Gatling just because they don't have a 7,000 plus power body yet. So we do use the armament, give it to Boa, do another one for sure, give it to Boa, swing for 7. Let's see what they do here. I think they counter. Yep, they have 4 cards in hand. Swing for 7 again. They counter out. 2 cards in hand. Bring out the Zoro, swing for 7 again. They take. Give 2 rested to Luffy, swing for 8. They take. They're down to 1 life. And they just now hit their 10 Don. They play out an 8 cost Roger. Gives them plus 2,000, so they're 9,000 power now. Cool. 7,000 into our Zoro, take. 10,000 into our Luffy, take. Swing into us, 6. We counter out. Pass it back to us. I think we do a search. We get the... Gamgamoga? Nah, Sanji. We don't play out the Sanji, so we don't play out another body. Swing for 13. They take. Cool. I think we also know that Roger, and most people know now that Roger doesn't really run blockers unless they're running like an 8 Katakuri or a 5 cost Odin, which most of them don't anymore because they opt for like ramp instead and just focus on their high end, which, you know, it's perfectly fine. So we attach the rest of our Dawn, swing. They're at 0 life. Next turn, I think we just swing with all our Dawn, right? So they go 9 at us. We take. They go 9 at us again. They didn't have a 10 cost body to play out. Maybe they thought they should try to go for game, but they couldn't even have gone for game anyways. We had 4 life. We counter out? No, we take. We take this one. We counter out, okay. So we do counter out of 1 attack. Swing 9, we take. Swing 10, we take. We could use the trigger, but I don't think so. I think we just keep it. Use it on ourselves, yep. So we do plus 3,000, plus 1,000, so that's plus 4,000, plus another 4,000, that's plus 8,000 with 4 Dawn, right? So we just doubled the efficiency of what that Dawn was. And then attach the rest of our Dawn, swing for 19. They use a event, 3k, a 2k, that's 5k, right? So 12, 13, 14, 15, GG. They ran out of counter. Of course, Roger doesn't have that much counter as is, so I thinking he could counter. I didn't think he could counter out of that at all, to be honest, because that's just like too crazy. He would have had to save all his 2Ks from a while ago and his 1Ks. But anyways, GG to our opponent. If you look, he was gonna get the Odin next, that Odin blocker. I'm assuming if we couldn't have gotten him, if he got that sooner, he would have played it out, right? And it would have been harder for us, even though we could have just found the event. But you can see how aggressive Rayleigh is. Really, really good. I think if you can pilot him real well, if you can pilot Rayleigh real well, you don't have to worry about OP 13 leaders. That's just a fact. If you guys are still listening to this, and you play Rayleigh, or you're thinking of playing Rayleigh, and he is OP 12, right? So he's one of the new ones that people got in the West. I do think if you pick him up now, he's still gonna be good in OP 13. You just have to learn him really well, and you have to learn your opponent's playstyles and how they ramp, what cards they play, what blockers they have, if they have any blockers at all, and then just cater your deck list to that, to you know, the OP 13 leaders, because they are very beatable. I don't know why people complain that OP 13 leaders are like the new standard and like they're making our old decks null. Granted, Rayleigh is OP 12, right? So he's fairly new, and they didn't make that null. So I don't know how far back the null and void stamp goes with these OP 13 leaders, but I can tell you that Rayleigh, Zoro, all these OP 12s, they're good. They're still good. They're gonna continue to be good, and they have a good chance at beating these OP 13 leaders. Emu, Ace, Roger. These are just, you know, these matches that I showed you are just quick examples that I whipped up. I've played tons of games with Rayleigh at this point, and I've played tons of games at my local game shop with Rayleigh at this point, and he does really well. He does really good. So, but that's basically all I have for you guys today. Just 3 short matches fitting for an aggressive leader. So if you guys, you know, like the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.